Now that the House and the Senate have both passed separate tax bills,
The bill is passed.
the two have to merge their bills and come up with one version to pass in both chambers. That process takes place behind closed doors, in what's called a conference committee. The two tax bills have significant differences, with some of the provisions designed to woo specific lawmakers into backing the bill, and others designed to keep the legislation's price tag below $1.5 trillion, which is necessary to use the Senate's reconciliation rules. That allows Republicans to pass the bill with a simple majority and avoid a Democratic filibuster. Small changes could upset the balance of support in either chamber, not to mention have big repercussions on taxpayers. And while Republican leaders are confident that they can find common ground,
I'm very optimistic about it.
there are 5 tricky issues they'll have to resolve. 1. The Affordable Care Act's individual mandate. The Senate bill repeals Obamacare's individual mandate, which would save the federal government $338 billion over the next decade. But the House leaves the mandate intact. Most conservatives want to take apart Obamacare in any way they can, but moderates are iffy about destabilizing the insurance markets. The CBO estimates that doing away with the mandate will increase premiums by 10% and lead to 13 million fewer people having health insurance in 10 years. 2. The corporate tax rate. Both versions permanently slash the corporate rate from 35% to 20%, but the Senate delays the cut until 2019 to save money. And while the Trump administration seemed adamant at not raising the rate above 20%,
and not a penny more,
President Trump recently indicated that he would support one as high as 22%, throwing a wrench into negotiations. 3. Pass-through businesses. Pass-through companies pass their income through to their owners and pay taxes through the individual tax code, rather than at the corporate rate. Both chambers lower the taxation of pass-through business income, but the House gives a much larger cut. That cut would increase deficits beyond the next decade, something that doesn't meet the Senate's reconciliation requirements. 4. The alternative minimum tax. Getting rid of the AMT, a secondary tax that prevents wealthy people and corporations from lowering their tax bill below a certain level, has long been a priority for Republicans. The House does away with both the corporate and individual AMTs, but the Senate preserves an alternative minimum tax floor on corporations in order to raise about $40 billion in the next decade. 5. Deductions. The House version gets rid of popular deductions for college students and college graduates with loans, as well as the deduction for high medical expenses, something that millions of elderly Americans use. It also caps the mortgage interest deduction at $500,000. The Senate, on the other hand, keeps the college and medical expenses deductions in place and caps the mortgage deduction at $1 million, setting up major conflicts to work out. If Congress is going to live up to President Trump's pledge to sign the bill by Christmas,
With a big, beautiful tax cut.
the conference committee will need to produce a conference report for both chambers to vote on before they adjourn for the holidays.